Welcome back to Anfield Vibes, your home for all the latest Liverpool news, transfer updates, and match insights. Today, we've got huge stories breaking. Liverpool sending a message to Mark Guhei as rival circle, a shock move for Alexander. Isak creating a selection dilemma, bold claims about the next Virgil van Dijk, and a massive 116 million headline grabber. Stick around because you don't want to miss this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated with every twist and turn in the transfer window. Liverpool send message to Mark Guhei as four clubs plot January transfer hijack. Mark Guhei will have to wait until the summer if the Crystal Palace centre-back wants to complete a move to Liverpool. According to reports, Guhei looked all set for a move to Anfield on transfer deadline day after Liverpool agreed a $35 million deal with Palace. The England international had even undergone his medical ahead of the move, but saw the deal collapse. At the 11th hour after Palace failed to sign a necessary replacement, Palace had been hopeful of signing Brighton defender Igor, but he instead opted for a switch to West Ham, which in turn forced Steve Parish to pull the plug on Guy's exit from the club. Prior to the summer window, Guhei made it clear that he had no intention of signing an extension on his current deal, which is set to expire at the end of the season. And having not cashed in on the 25-year-old in the summer, Palace now faced the prospect of losing their club captain for free next summer. The South London club may have held out hope that Liverpool would return to the negotiating table in January to try and get a deal for Guy over the line, but the Times report that the Reds will not revisit a deal for the centre back in January, and will only sign Guhei on a free transfer next summer. A move to Liverpool is still likely to interest Guhei, who was left angry by the late developments, which saw his move scuppered this summer. However, Palace may seek to entertain offers from other parties in January to ensure they recoup some money for their club captain. Reports earlier in the week linked Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and Real Madrid with a move for Guy, while Manchester City have also been credited with interest. All four clubs could seek to hijack Liverpool's plans and sign Guhei in January for a cut price fee, which would surely be below the 35 men that Liverpool had agreed with Palace. The three continental giants could also look to strike a pre-contract agreement with Guhei, which would see him join a free when his contract expires in the summer. Guy will be free to speak to European clubs about a pre-contract agreement when he enters the last 6 months of his deal, but can't enter such talks with a domestic club until the final month of his deal. Liverpool's best starting lineup after Alexander Isak transfer as clear dilemma emerges. It was a record-breaking summer for Liverpool Football Club as the Reds went on a spending spree that saw them shell out over 400 meters on new players. The Premier League champions' show of ambition saw them bring in Florian Wirtz and Alexander Isak in separate deals worth over 100 millers each. Meanwhile, Milos Kerkez, Georgi Mamardvili, Jeremy Frimpong, Giovanni Leone, and Hugo Ekitike were also brought to the club in high-profile transfers. It puts Arne Slot's side in a strong position to defend their league title. Yet the Dutchman faces a challenge to rotate his side and keep everyone happy. So what is his best lineup? Echo writers Paul Gorst and Joe Reimer have their say. Paul Gorst. So if Liverpool were playing in the Champions League final next week with a clean bill of health, who gets the nod following 4 form worth of investment this summer? Georgi Mamardashvili will provide Alisson Becker with real international class competition for the years ahead, but the Brazil number one remains the best man for the job in goal. At right back, the pace, power, and tenacity of Connor Bradley is a real option, and Dominic Szoboszlai has shown he can excel when called upon in that position also. But I'm going to give new signing Jeremy Frimpong the nod. The Netherlands international can also help Mohamed Salah cause chaos by going on the outside with his blistering pace. We're yet to see what Frimpong can truly do, but I am backing him on the flank. Milos Kerkez is on the opposite flank as he goes about forging a path as Liverpool's left back for the long term, while Ibrahim Konate and Virgil van Dijk at centre half. It is about as straightforward as it gets with this particular team selection. In midfield, it's a case of 3-2 for me. While Curtis Jones is growing in importance in this Liverpool squad, I still suspect the starting Abas will come down to 2 of either Ryan Gravenberch, Alexis McAllister, and Szoboszlai. It's a welcome headache for Slot to have, but I am going to stick with the first 2, and the hungry captain can be the first reserve off the bench. It's harsh on Soy, who has started the season so strongly, but Gravenberch and McAllister's partnership is a must. That means Florian Wirtz operates as the number 10, just behind Alexander Isak, who leads the line in place of Hugo Ekitike, who has made a superb start to Liverpool life. It must be stressed. Cody Gakpo is now the undisputed first choice on the left, and Salah, who else patrols the right side. My team: Alisson, Frimpong, Conte, Van Dijk, Mallister, Gravenberch, Salah, Gakpo is chief executive. Certain Liverpool have already signed the next: Virgil van Dijk. Liverpool saw off strong competition to complete the summer signing of highly rated teenage Italian defender Giovanni Leone. Liverpool have landed Virgil van Dijk's successor this summer following the arrival of Giovanni Leone. That is the verdict of Martin Siemens, the executive who helped bring the hotly tipped teenager to Parma last year and helped sanction the sale of the veteran Dutchman to the Reds. Liverpool saw off rival interest to secure Lyon in a transfer, valued at 26 matters plus additional clauses. They are confident they have recruited one of Europe's most promising young defenders. Siemens held similar faith in the youngster's abilities when he approved his move from Sora to Parma 12 months earlier. The former Southampton chief executive served as CEO of Kraus Group Soccer. Parma's ownership group until this summer, reports Liverpool.com.Siemens. Siemens, who was at Southampton when Liverpool paid a then club record $75 claimed fee for Van Dijk, assumed a comparable position with London City Lionesses last month and expressed his respect for Lyon during a recent interview. When questioned on TalkSport whether the new Liverpool centre-back represents the heir to the club captain, he responded, "Yeah, absolutely for me. We signed him the second year I was there in the summer, and I have a deep love for the likes of Tino Livramento for Southampton and signing these young players. Romeo Lavia, this was the same kind of deal. I think it was clearly the best young centre-back in Italy, if not Europe. And again, we sold him the vision to come to our club to play in Serie A. I think it was 17 when he started playing, and then when the right moment comes, you will go." The view was that they would probably stay there longer than 1 year, but Lyon was such a level. And again, I think it highlights Liverpool's ability that they spotted that there were other clubs in the Premier League that asked me about him, not as an executive for Parma, because I'd left by then and I told them what I thought, and they didn't follow through on it. 5 or 6 Premier League teams asked me. I told them he's as good as Virgil. Liverpool never called me, never asked for a reference because they've got such an ability to find those players. Top player. Newcastle United were understood to be among the group of interested clubs, with Parma CEO Federico Cherwini admitting we rejected a higher offer from Newcastle for Leone. But plans have changed with Liverpool. I've always said the club wanted to keep Giovanni, and he's always said he'd be happy to stay. We even turned down an offer from Newcastle, which was more advantageous than the one Liverpool eventually made. When the Reds came forward, our plans changed, both because the offer was very attractive and because Giovanni made it clear he was very happy to take advantage of this opportunity. Connor Bradley makes Florian Wirtz's admission before difficult night with Liverpool, 160-man. Liverpool teammates Connor Bradley and Florian WZ will go up against each other in Cologne this evening. Connor Bradley is hoping to cause his new Liverpool teammate Florian Wirtz plenty of problems when Northern Ireland take on Germany in a World Cup qualifier tonight, Sunday. The two Reds could come directly up against one another in this evening. Wirtz started on the left for Germany in their surprise 2-0 defeat to Slovakia, while Bradley is expected to again be in at right wing back for Michael O'Neill's men. Northern Ireland can expect to be digging in defensively for much of the night, but while he is braced for a tough test in that regard, Bradley wants to put Liverpool's 1,006-meter man on the back foot in the Germans' hometown of Cologne. Florian's a top player. Bradley said, "There's a reason we bought him for the money we did. He's had a brilliant few years at Leverkusen, and now he's come to us. I think he started the season really well. He's really good with the ball. He's really creative, and he's not scared to take a few risks with the ball as well, so he's a top player, and I know it's going to be a difficult night for me, but hopefully I can make it a difficult night for him too. I think that's probably one of the best bits of my game, especially playing for Northern Ireland, that I can get forward and try to create chances for my teammates. But I know I've got to be disciplined as well. They're obviously going to be really good with the ball, and we're probably